Opening. The dissertation as ritual. We begin not with the library, not with the shelf of thick books. We begin with a circle of people. A student steps forward, breath carries a question to the room, tremor and voice make the work visible. I call the dissertation a ritual of becoming, a practice that preserves and transforms at once. In expressive arts, we name this aesthetic responsibility. A community helps a work arrive. A community receives it. We shape what is given. That is poiesis in plain speech. Two constants hold through every variation: accountability and community. Contribution is knowledge. A work shows itself as made. A work invites response. When response is real, we feel breath taken, and we move before we analyze. If you have a hard time finishing your dissertation, it's probably because you are on the right side of history. Medieval universities, 12th to 15th centuries, the event comes first. Think Paris, think Oxford. These universities formalize higher learning in theology, law, and the arts. They also formalize how we test a scholar. The core practice is the disputation, a planned public debate. A candidate advances claims in Latin. Faculty and peers challenge those claims. The test is oral. The test is live. Short written pieces support this event. Theses or positions outline arguments that will be defended aloud. These are not modern dissertations. They are scaffolds for the performance. Afterwards, notes and reports keep a trace of what occurred. The center remains the encounter. Why this matters now? Conversation is not a warm-up. Conversation is a method. The defense is a performance of thinking. Listeners are moved or not. That is close to what we call an aesthetic response in exa. Sensing comes first, understanding follows. The early modern period, the 16th to 18th century, the print thickens the trace. Renaissance and Reformation changed the knowledge world. Printing changes it too. Written theses become more elaborate in many places. Some are printed and circulated in advance. The oral defense remains central. Now it is framed by a written text. Structured opponents question the candidate. The defense is both scholarly and ceremonial. Think of broadsides and notices as scaffolding. A frame invites a public. A frame sets constraints, so improvisation can be witnessed with clarity. Freedom grows within the limits. 19th century, the modern research monograph crystallizes. So this would be the modern understanding of dissertation. The doctoral dissertation is charged to demonstrate a new contribution. The document lengthens. The oral defense remains. The book becomes the durable record. Keep poiesis at the center, knowing by making, not only theoria that watches, not only praxis that acts. Art does not only represent, it makes present. The result should show itself as made. It should invite response rather than hide inside utility. Product and process walk together. And this is close to where we are. The 20th century, global spread and diversification. The PhD model travels. In the United States, the degree pairs coursework with the dissertation and a final defense. Three things. In the United Kingdom, the dissertation carries heavy weight and the oral defense is usually private. Across disciplines, the shape varies. Humanities and many social sciences favor longer argumentative monographs. Sciences often integrate published papers or experimental reports. Global practice remains diverse. Sweden keeps a public defense as a major event. Australia often relies on external examiners, may not require an oral defense. And then we're coming up to the more present period with the late 20th century. New forms enter the room. Three currents shape the landscape we inherit. First, thesis by publication. Articles produced within a coherent program with an integrative frame. And I'll talk more about this throughout the course. Second, there's a practice-based and practice-led research. Art is not only the object of study, art is the method and mode of presentation. Making and reflecting move together. This is poesis as method. Third, collaborative and co-authored experiments, shared writing and clear roles. Remix, for example, remix in music is a sort of logic system for some collaborative writing. And we're looking at cross-disciplinary teams working together. In studio terms, you sometimes give up advanced control to gain real mastery. The work teaches. We follow what shows itself, then we title, then we carry it back. Improvisation breathes inside a frame. The work stays alive. And then we're talking about now the right here, right now with the post-COVID world, 21st century, the digital, the multimodal, the living circulation. So electronic theses are normal. Repositories are searchable. Projects can be multimodal. Film, performance, web-native work, data sets with interfaces, interactive archives, criteria for assessment and preservation keep evolving. Circulation is faster and wider. Work can be read across institutions. Feedback can arrive before and after deposit. Some monographs sit beside living sites of process and outtakes. Writing keeps breathing. Readers meet the work where they are. They test it, they reuse it, they disagree. That's healthy. Remember the EXA bottom line. Art makes present. Communities test what arrived. Presence moves us before we convert it into claims. The present practices, defenses and debates about form. So defense formats may vary. The United States, defense is usually a private committee meeting. In Germany and Sweden, public defenses are common and ceremonial. Since the pandemic, virtual defenses are routine in many places. Design the defense like a session. Set the frame, announce the time window, run a clean take, then reflect, then pause for a studio reflection, let the presence work. So closing, the constants and opening. Forms at a glance, the monograph, the long arc that still teaches stamina and precision. This is the big document. Then there's the thesis by publication, where articles are gathered with a strong integrative frame. And then there's practice-based or practice-led, creative work with critical reflection and one movement, collaborative and co-authored, shared writing with explicit roles and responsibilities. Keep the constants, accountability and contribution. Hold aesthetic responsibility. Shape the encounter so response is possible, then bridge back to the stakes of our lives. A final reminder for us, poesis is not a metaphor for research. It is the motor, knowing by making, then naming what arrives so that the community can test it.